everyone, my name is Tara Amana and I am the owner of A New Counseling Services. We are located in Oradell, New Jersey. In my practice, there are two other clinicians that work there as well, Erin Theodoro and Jill Connolly. Outside of my practice, I am a high school counselor in Bergen County, and I work with juniors and seniors every single year. I thought it would be really appropriate, since it's the end of the summer and school is right around the corner, to talk a little bit about the upcoming school year and COVID. I will admit, even though I am a counselor, I am anxious too about going back to school for numerous reasons. Currently, I will be going back. However, my students will not be going back just yet. And I don't know when. And that's something that creates anxiety. How do I not know when my students are coming back? No one knows when my students are coming back. We have a tentative date, but is it going to stick? I don't know. When all of this first started, we were only going to be out for 2 weeks. 1 week that we fully took off, and then the other week was spring break, and then there we were in June doing a virtual graduation. So I think that this is the concern of a lot of different people, of students, of teachers, of counselors, parents. What are we doing? And what's the most frustrating part of it is that we don't know. Things are changing so rapidly. One day we have one plan, the next day everything changes. For me personally, colleges, are they test optional? Are they not test optional? What's going on with the SAT? How are the kids applying to school? Are the applications different? All of these things that I've begun researching, but that may even change. So how do we deal with this? In regular life, I typically am a very organized person. I'm usually planned. Sometimes I probably plan a little bit too much. I like being in control as much as I can. So typically my planning helps to give me some sort of control of my life. I know what I'm doing. I know what I have to do, and I know what's going on. So what do we do when all of the control is taken away from us? I think the first thing to realize is, yes, we do have control of our lives to an extent. And I think COVID is the biggest example on the lack of control that we do have. I can remember laying in my bed before going to sleep. I always have Channel 12 News on, and I was watching whatever clip of it, and it was talking about how someone ate a bat in China, and all of these people in China have COVID. And I was like, oh my God, wow, that's crazy. Went to sleep, didn't think about it again, that was it. And then a couple months later, it was like, wow, we have our first case. From what I remember, I feel like it was in Washington, and I was like, oh, all right, yeah, it's all the way over there, great. And then shortly after, it was like, oh, okay, by the way, school, that's closed. If you have vacation, you don't anymore. Oh, you want to go out to dinner? You can't do that. You want to go somewhere else? Anywhere else? Can't do that. I had bought tickets to go to the orchid show at the New York Botanical Gardens, and I remember a week before I was talking to one of my friends, and I'm like, oh, should we go? Should we not go? And she was laid back about it. She's like, oh, I think it's fine if we go. I mean, I don't really think that this is that bad. And literally 1 week later, the Botanical Gardens shut, along with virtually the rest of the world. So when you think about it, how much control did we actually have? None, really. The only control we had at that point was how we were going to react to the fact that everything that we've always known virtually was taken away from us to help protect us, right? So we didn't really have that much control. And I know some of you may be thinking okay, well, that's easier said than done. But if my child's staying home from school and I have a full-time job, my job's not going to allow me to stay home. I mean, I know as an educator, that's one of the biggest problems the teachers are facing, because a lot of the times we become teachers because it's a great schedule for us to have children, because we're typically aligned. And now it's our kids are either not going to school, or they're going to school for 2 4-hour days a week. But as teachers, as educators, we're going to be in the building all day. So what happens to our children? scary. That's scary. And that's something that we can't just, well, let's just see what happens. We have to make arrangements. We have to make plans. We have to figure this out. That's where I think faith in yourself comes in. I'm sure outside of this, you've been faced with many different dilemmas in life where you're just like, I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know how I'm going to handle this. And then it works out, right? We're always going to find a way. It may not be ideal. It may not be the best way, but we're going to figure it out. And I think that having that faith within yourself really helps you to function and find some sort of solace in life, showing you that everything eventually will be okay. Obviously, just regular basic relaxation techniques where you're either doing deep breathing or you're listening to guided meditation. There are so many different apps like the Calm app that help so much. Refocusing techniques, right? If something's out of our control and there's nothing we could do about it, us just staring and staying fixated on it and thinking about it over and over and over and over again is virtually like a hamster running on a wheel that's stationed and not going anywhere. So all you're really doing is exhausting energy and producing nothing. So instead, take that energy and do something else, whether it's a hobby or a craft or socializing with friends or loved ones, family, anything. Anything except focusing on what we cannot control at the moment. And it is just taking it day by day and realizing that each day really is changing. And some of the changes that have happened are really good, like outdoor dining. Some of the changes aren't that great, like the reduction of how many people you can have at an event or inside at the moment. But hopefully things will continue to change for the best. And I know that's not guaranteed, but again, if it doesn't, having that faith within ourselves that if it does not change for the best, it eventually will. And that we know we will try our best to make it work with whatever we're working with. Unfortunately, my practice has gotten busier. So not unfortunately, fortunately, I'm very, very thankful that it's busy, but it's unfortunate because COVID really did bring on a lot of mental health issues, and some people are just so anxious about it. They're scared about what will happen to them if they get COVID. They're scared about what will happen to their family members if they get COVID, even if they think they'll be okay. They're scared about not getting a job again. They're nervous about possibly losing their job in the future. I mean, it's mind-boggling to see some of these huge stores that I've shopped in for years are just closing. It's mind-boggling. It's scary. It's sad. I never would have thought that I would face anything like this in my entire life. I mean, even just not having access to things. For the past 2 weeks that I've gone food shopping, I can't get my specific roll of paper towels. Something so simple. It's just my paper towels, and I like certain kinds, and I can't get it. And even that creates a little bit of anxiety the second I get my shopping cart and I'm walking into ShopRite and I'm like, oh my God, are my paper towels going to be there? And I dart to the section of paper towels because what if there's only 3 left? I want to get one of the last 3. And they haven't been there, and I'm going to figure it out. Now, again, that's only paper towels, but it's just all about making the right decisions and doing what's best for you and doing what's best for your family, having faith in yourself that you're going to be able to figure it out, and just taking it day by day. Because remember, when things go down, and sometimes when they go down enough, there's no other way to go except up. So I do feel as though things will turn around. I don't know when, but and I know I'm in my 30s, so I wasn't around for the Great Depression many years ago, but I was around for 9/11, and that really negatively impacted us personally, us as a society, and we have bounced back from it. It may have taken some time. Again, it may have not been ideal, but when you really think about life, when is life ever fully ideal? Even all the way down to something as simple as the weather. Is it ever really ideal when it's downpouring and you have to walk from your house to the car to get to work? No, probably not. Is it ever ideal when it's so hot out, like it's been the past few weeks in the summer, and the humidity is horrendous, and we do our hair and then it's like this at the end of the day? No, probably not. But we function through it and we live through it just as much as we can function through this and live through this if we realize that we are capable of doing so. Obviously, therapy always helps. I mean, I'm a therapist, so I'm a little biased, but I do feel like if you do need some help, if you need to just talk to someone about what you're struggling with, get that extra support, come up with some new techniques, reach out to either one of us or another therapist that you prefer. The way that I look at it is it doesn't really cause any harm. It's just kind of talking to someone else in addition to your family, in addition to your friends. And the only difference is that we're not biased and we're not judging you. And we have a few extra years of schooling, so we know a few things about mental health. That's all. But it's something that you should definitely think about. Just because everyone is going through COVID, some people are handling it much better than others. And the ones that aren't handling it that great, you shouldn't look at the situation and say, well, everyone else is doing this, so I should be able to do it too. Not necessarily. That's one of the biggest things that's always intrigued me about my profession, is that you and I could go through the same exact situation and react so differently, showing just how unique each and every one of us are. And it's the same thing with COVID. Someone may be dealing with it great and someone may not be, and it is what it is. And if you are one of those people that aren't, you should absolutely reach out and try to get yourself some help. And when you start to feel better, if you don't think you need counseling anymore, then you can talk to your counselor and terminate counseling. But you don't have to go through this alone. And you do have to find the faith within yourself, knowing that each day you're going to be able to handle it. And even if it's not an ideal day, every new day is a new beginning. It's a new start. And you can make of it what you want to make of it. And the most important thing with anxiety, and just really our personalities in life in general, is we may not be able to control what is thrown our way, but we can control how we decide to react to it. So it's just some food for thought. This is my first video really talking a little bit in depth about different things, and I would love to know if there are other topics, if I'm able to talk to you about, that you would like to hear about. Please reach out, leave a comment. On my website, there is my cell phone number, my email address. So I'm on Facebook as well, A New Counseling Services, LLC. So please feel free, reach out with any requests. If you have any questions, please let me know. And I wish everyone a great start to the school year. Thanks, guys. Talk to you soon.